Welcome to Get Known, Be Seen Web TV. I'm your host, Trish Springsteen, and it's my pleasure to be bringing this particular TV channel to you. The whole concept of this channel is to allow people to come on and showcase their expertise so that those who are viewing can get known, be seen, and stand out and increase their visibility and connection with their clients. It also allows an opportunity for those who want to showcase what they're doing, whether they're an author showcasing their book, a coach or mentor showcasing a new program, or an advocate showcasing their message. It allows them an opportunity to get known, be seen. So I'm delighted to be here, and especially delighted to be bringing to you our special segment for this month, and that is the highlights of the Get Known, Be Seen Expo workshop that was held in 2018. And helping me at that expo was a joint venture between myself, Trish Springsteen, and I welcome Deborah Fay, my co-host for this segment. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Trish.
Especially welcoming one of the authors who participated in that expo, Lisa Constantine. Welcome, Lisa. Lovely to have you here.
Hey, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you. Lovely to be here.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
So let's get started. And the first question I'm going to push towards you is, what was your journey like to becoming published?
Well, my journey to being published, I decided to self-publish. I had all the other options of going to a publisher and doing all the manuscriptal part of it and doing all the subscription and the parts that entail to have a publisher look at your book at least. But I decided to self-publish because I wanted to have 100% control.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, Lisa, just take us back and tell us what drove you to write the book. I can't even speak really. Write the book.
We all get like that.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I haven't even had a drink yet.
Well, isn't it 5 o'clock is wine time, isn't it? Or something like that.
And it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, 5 o'clock somewhere in the world, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, basically we all have a story within us, but I wasn't going to write the book at all, but I started writing on the backs of envelopes on pieces of paper, and I started to get this book together called A Simple Drive Home, and it sort of became a bio, but it also became a self-development, personal development book. The issue I had with the book was I had it into basic chapters. I just found it difficult for a while to write the first chapter because that was the most challenging, because that was about the actual car accident itself and what happened on that day.
Mm-hmm. So for those people listening in, clearly there was an incident that sparked all of this for Lisa, and you're going to have to read the book to find out what that was.
Good fun.
Stick that one in there.
Yeah, put that one in there. But I believe a lot of readers will get a lot out of it. A lot of authors say, don't they? I mean, we're all together as a team, but this book is slightly different. Like I said, it's not only a bio but a personal development book. Life lessons, if you like.
Absolutely. It is a good book. I've read it, and it is a really good book. It covers both areas.
It is, yeah.
What challenges did you have to overcome to get where you're going with the book and writing it? I know you mentioned just a little bit about that difficulty you had with that first chapter, but what other challenges did you face?
I faced going back to the actual scene and reliving it, I guess, but I had to remind myself that this book is out there, or I wanted to write this book to help people similar to me, not just car accidents, sickness, hardships, obstacles, all those types of things that we all encounter in life. And then I had the question of, well, why should I write about tragedy? You know, tragedy happens every day. We see it on the news, we hear it on the radio, we see it in the newspapers. You know, why would I want to write about it? But as I began to write it, I saw that it was becoming a good story, a story that people would relate to, and it shows my recovery process and the hardships that I went through to get to where I am today.
So you talk about, why would I want to write about tragedy? And there's lots of stories about tragedy, but in fact, it's actually a story about resilience and about hope.
Yeah, well, I've got a business symbol on the back of the book here, and that's my business symbol there, resilience. It's actually it's a good symbol because everyone can relate to resilience, and it is about resilience.
For it. Yes.
Yeah, and we don't sort of know what resilience is until we stumble across it. Till we need it, yeah. I always knew the meaning of resilience, in the dictionary. Oh, yeah, you've got to be resilient in life. But until you test it, until everything changes, until you're laying there and you can't do anything, and you're relying on other people, and you have to change your whole life and the way you did things before, and not being able to drive for so long, you had to find some resilience. So
I guess you find out who you are in those moments.
That's right. Yeah, it's very testing, and it tests the people around you too. And we tend to it's not a selfish thing, but we tend to forget about that. We tend to forget about the people around us and how it affects them, because we're so concentrated on trying to recover, trying to deal with what's happened to me, that you forget about the others. Yeah.
And focusing in on meeting basic needs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like it took longer to have a shower. It took help to go to the toilet, personal grooming, all that, not working for a while, it wasn't easy. My life became surgeons, physios, all those specialists, and it can be quite overwhelming.
I bet. So, Lisa, just regards the book now, so not so much the story, how have you actually leveraged the book itself?
I started out on Facebook, and now I'm looking at other platforms, but I've also done a poster. I don't know how well this as well, just to show people the basics of what is in the book and what it covers. So I've done that, but I am looking at other platforms at the moment. There's a few that I'm looking at which I've been researching over the last week. So, yeah.
Okay.
Amazon is going to be one of them.
Good.
Yeah.
You need to be up there on Amazon, darling. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we need to get that going. Good. Yeah. So, yeah. So it's time is the biggest challenge. You've got to have time to write, and and that for me is in the morning, and juggling that between work and things like that. This is where resilience comes in. Yes.
the juggle is real. The juggle is
real, because when you have a day job and then you've got this other business on the side, or not so much business, but author, writer, public speaker, it's time is valuable, even 5 minutes. Yeah.
So would you say that being published has worked for you in getting you speaking gigs and allowing you more opportunities to share your message?
Oh, absolutely. And the people I've met too, and I mean, the computer, as we know, is a powerful platform of different networks that you can go on. And it's also about having a plan. But, yeah, I have sold a few books, and I have helped a few people, and I have done a few public speaking gigs, and I had one lady come up to me and just looked at me and looked astonished on how I can go from that to this. And when I tell people now that I'm a disability support worker looking after low care, not wheelchairs, not lifting, not anything like that, they just look at me and go, is that a joke? And I say, no, I'm actually a disability support worker, and I look after these people. They're low care, they can shower themselves and so forth. But I can relate to that because I used to have carers come in and shower me. So, yeah, so it's sort of done a 360, if you like.
Brilliant. That's one of the powerful things, I think, from your book and what you share of your story and what you're living now. That's really great.
Yeah.
You're a gorgeous soul, Lisa, and Trish and I both absolutely loved working with you.
Thank you. Me too.
Doing the workshop and doing the collaborative project. We'd actually like to know from you what you got out of the workshop, out of the day that we had together, and out of the book project that we did together.
Well, it was nice to meet other authors, and it was nice to have the opportunity to write the chapter on personal power, because that's an extension of resilience. And I never knew what personal power was. I was trying to work it out. I was trying to think, well, what is this? Because I was planning, I was organising, I was finding out who I was, and thought, hang on a minute, this could be called personal power, and we all have it. We all have this inner strengths, this inner emotional strength. It's about knowing who you are and not taking charge of your life, but in a productive way, not in an aggressive way. Just having a plan for your life, because none of us are going to get out of here alive, as we know. So that's something. That's something I learned, because in the end, because when you're in your 20s, you think, oh, I've got forever, and when you turn 16, you can't wait to turn 18, and then when you're 18, you can't wait to turn 21, and then this year I'm going to be 50, and I think to myself, hang on a minute.
How did that happen?
How did that happen? Yeah. But if you ask me if in a way, and it sounds very strange, but in a way it's a blessing, because I've learnt so much about myself, and I've wrote this book, A Simple Drive Home, and I've helped people, and my life isn't what I expected. I've had to miss out on a few things, but I would say that I have a peaceful life, and I have, a good life partner now, and life's good, I've had my ups and downs, but where I am now is a good space.
And you are the walking, talking example of resilience. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I've been told that that's my middle name, but of course I've had my, like anybody, I've had my moments, like where do I go from here, when my marriage broke down because of everything, the financial pressure, the physical pressure, the not having what we thought we'd have, that's not easy to do, and I did everything all at once. I moved, I had no job, I had a divorce, and those three things, only one of those things can set a person, around the bend or on the Ferris wheel, but I had the whole three at once. And then I was diagnosed from the car accident with post-traumatic stress, which is nervousness, which is anxiousness. And I've got and I've got a lid on that now. It does happen occasionally, but I've got strategies in place to help that.
Good.
And having a life purpose helps.
It does.
Yeah, there's such a fine line, you can go down, you can, lose it completely, or you can try and rebuild from what you have. And I wasn't always like this. I used to have mornings where days used to roll into other days, and I'd go, what day is it? Because the pain was so high that, and then I'd be thinking, well, why should I go outside? Because I can't even brush my hair. So but at the end you just got to keep climbing, don't you?
Absolutely.
Like climbing a mountain, I guess. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing for that. I think that's brilliant, because that's given an awesome insight into what has been behind the concept of your book and where your journey has been. So looking back on actually writing that book, what 2 tips could you give to our viewers who might want to write their own book or become an author? What 2 tips do you think you could say to them?
The main 2 tips I would say is find out why you want to write, what is it that you want to write about, and, think about that. What is it that you want the reader to take from your message? And the second one I would say is you can edit it yourself if you've got the time to do it, I would suggest doing most of the editing yourself and then have someone else look at it. You know,
So
I
an
think
objective perspective.
yeah, but have yourself look at it and look at it by word and make sure it flows. And because I think for me it was hard. This Simple Drive Home was difficult, the first chapter, but once I wrote it, it was also difficult to edit because it was still difficult at the time. I got through all that, but I would say if you can, edit the book yourself and then have someone look at it, a close friend or a friend of a friend, and you're always going to get opinions. But if you believe that you want to write a book and you've got a message and why you want to write it, and you've got to believe in yourself, I think that's probably 3, not 2.
No, they're all good ones.
I've got 3, but I think you just have to believe in yourself and just keep writing. Just keep writing.
Well, that's 4.
Oh, that's 4, and I'm in trouble now. I'm in trouble now. No more live crosses for me. I'm in the bad books.
No, that's fine. Because they're 4 very valuable tips. They're 4 very valuable tips,
Great.
especially the last one.
Well, you're the one that taught me that, Trish, to believe in yourself. You said, Lisa, once you believe in yourself, you can do anything. I thought, yeah, this lady's right. It's very simple, like Simple Drive Home, I suppose, but until someone tells you that, you can forget things, because when you go through trauma, you forget who you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's Trish's one of her mottos is I believe in you until you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. And, you know, and don't compare yourself to other people. I mean, this is going into a different area again, but if you compare,
on 5 tips.
Yeah, 5 things. 5 things, man. But if you compare, it's despair, isn't it? Yeah, it's despair, isn't it? Because there's always going to be that thinner lady, that girl with the blonde hair and the blue eyes, you know.
There's someone younger, someone slimmer, someone better. Yeah,
that's right. But, you know.
What do they call it? Comparisonitis.
It is. And authors...
Oh, I haven't heard that. That's a good one.
Yeah, comparisonitis. It's a disease.
Well, a lot of people who want to be authors do that a lot because they say, well, I can't write like that person. And it's the same people who want to be speakers. Like, I can't speak like that person. But we're all unique, and we all have to just open up that little heart of ours and let our uniqueness grow. So thank you for sharing. Awesome. Lots of tips.
Right.
Thank you, Lisa. Lots of tips.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too, Dale.
Oh, before you
All
go, Lisa, we want to know what's the name of your book. I know you shared it, but let's just have a proper promo of your book. People know where they can find your
it was going to be called Resilience, the energy I felt, felt within, or, something along those lines. But I am thinking about changing the title. I'm sort of a bit here, there and everywhere at the moment. I know that the actual contents of the book, but the title is the one that I'm playing with at the moment. I've actually had it printed and it looks fantastic, but I'm sort of thinking, there could be something else here.
This is your latest book, your new one that you're working on that you're going to be bringing out.
Yes. Awesome. So not only is, there's Simple Drive Home, and then there's this one where I wrote about with you and everyone. That one the chapter was on personal power. So there's another one coming, and 2019 is going to be a good year.
Absolutely endorse that. And where can people get in touch with you, Lisa, if they want to connect with you to speak more about resilience or speak more about your book? Where can they get in touch with you?
Okay, so it's my website, which is www.lisaconstantine.com. I made it quite simple, as the book simple. Live simply, they say. But that's the best way to get me, because you can just leave your name and number and a brief message, and I can get back to you that way, you know. And my goal this year too is to do a bit more public speaking, which I haven't done so much of since our get together. But that was a wonderful experience, seeing all the other authors, and it's just nice to open your scope and meet other people, isn't it? Because you learn so much.
Absolutely.
That's invaluable, you know. So, yeah, it's lovely having the book and the chapter in there and reading the other chapters of the other authors. It's wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're a great crowd, hey?
Yeah, great crowd.
We're all in good company.
Do another book. So, yeah, it's been great. It's been a great thing for me. A sideline to my work, which I enjoy. Gives me a lot of purpose. And, yes, I get tired. Some nights I come home and my partner will go, "Oh, you look a bit tired," but you've made a difference. Yeah.
And that's
beautiful.
That's the crux of the whole thing, and what really I think drives you is that what you do, what you share, whether it's in your book or when you're speaking or whether you're here on being interviewed, is sharing you and your resilience. And brilliant.
And we're not all born with, we're not born with resilience. It's something that, you find out when you really test it. I'm not saying that you have to go through something horrific to have resilience. What I'm saying is when you're tested, that's when you notice resilience. You realise, I've just got to keep going, and failure's going to be part of that to succeed. Because when we fail, we sort of go, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, well, maybe it's me. Well, not really. You just got to keep going.
Thanks.
One step at a time.
Absolutely delighted. Thank you so much for being with us, and we've really enjoyed your sharing your story.
Thank you.
Challenges and what you're doing in the future. So thank you.
Thank you. I'll keep you in the loop, hey?
Please.
That'd be nice.
You've been watching the highlights of Get Known, Be Seen and the Expo and Workshop in 2018. We've been chatting with Lisa Constantine, who's was one of our absolutely awesome authors. So thank you very much for being with us, and look forward to sharing another one with you in very shortly, another one of our authors. So it's goodbye from me, Trish, and it's goodbye from
me.
Deborah and Lisa. Yay.
Lisa.
See you guys.